In this tutorial, I'll be giving you a big picture overview of Articulate Quizmaker. Now, if you're new to Quizmaker, I think you're really going to love just how quickly you can create high-quality, interactive quiz questions like those that I'll show you here. Now, one of the things that I'd like you to pay attention to as I'm going through these questions, watch the different look and feel of the feedback for each question. It's really easy to customize that in Quizmaker. So we have a drag and drop question here, and drag and drops are really super easy to create. And so here's one type and look of feedback. We have a pick mini question type here. Multiple choice question. And also, kind of neat, we have an essay question here. So an essay question, but we can also use a web object, so we can bring the World Wide Web into. So think about that. I can show my learner something out on the web and have them respond to it. Pretty neat. And finally, we have results slides that we can completely customize to get a different look and feel to match up with the rest of our course. Now, if you've used a previous version of Quizmaker before, I think you're going to love the new features that we've added as well. In either case, let's head on over to Quizmaker and let's take a look and give you that big picture overview. We're here in the Quizmaker interface, and to give you a sense for the big picture, the overview of Quizmaker, let's go ahead and create a quiz question, and as we do so, as we go through that process, we'll show you not only how quickly you can create in the Quizmaker environment, but also give you a sense for what some of the features are available to you. So when we start in Quizmaker, we're here in the Questions tab, the Questions view. And you'll notice that we don't have any questions added. So that's easy enough to correct. We can quickly add a question by selecting one of these options. So I'm going to select graded question, but you will notice we have some other options here. We can put a blank slide in. Maybe we want to have a directions at the beginning. We can insert a question group, and we can also import questions in from outside Quizmaker. But for now, let's add a graded question. I'm going to go ahead here and take a look at what my options are, and I've got true, false, multiple choice, multiple response. I've got a lot of questions available to me. I also have survey questions, and new to Articulate Quizmaker 13, I have these dynamite free-form questions, which I think you're really going to love. More on these later. But let's start off with multiple choice. I'm going to insert this, and when I insert a question in Quizmaker, it starts me off in the form view. Now the form view is a great way to quickly enter my question information. So right from here, I enter my question, what color is the sky? And right down here, I put my choices. Blue, green, yellow. I choose the correct question, or the correct choice, I should say. And just like that, that simple, I've just created a quiz question. New in Quizmaker 13, by the way, in the lower right here, for those of you that have used Quizmaker before, you will see a preview of what the question looks like. It's really a great new feature. Preview this slide, and just to show you, there, we've just created a multiple choice question. Very simple, straightforward. I've entered my question and my choices in the form view, boom, ready to go. Now, also from form view, I have some options here that I can apply to this particular question. Do I want the answers to be shuffled or not shuffled? How many attempts does the learner have to take this question? 1, 2, unlimited? You'll notice that right now there's no try again message, but if I say, well, they get to try again, they get 2 attempts, now we have a try again message appear down here in the feedback options. So speaking of feedback, do I want the learner to receive feedback on the overall question or by individual choices that they make for the question? So I can really alter the functionality of the question right here from form view. It's really simple to do. All I have to do is enter my question, enter my choices, and select my feedback settings. So we preview this question once again. And very simple, ready to go. I have a question. Now, I might not be thrilled with the color scheme. It's black text on white background. Maybe I want to enhance it a little bit more. Well, to do so, I can come over here to the slide view. Now, slide view gives me all of the same options. So the feedback, the shuffling, the scoring, but what it does is it shows me a live view of my slide, and very similar to, say, like a PowerPoint tool, I have the opportunity to edit my slide right here. I can come in here and I can quickly choose a design template, a theme, to get a different look and feel. If I want, I can alter the text size. I can move the question about the screen. I can move the answer choices about the screen as well. So I could take these, I could move them about, I could resize. There we go. I could change the font size here, the font type. So really, there's a lot that I can do just from this view. I might decide, you know what, I want to enhance this with some imagery. Maybe I want a picture, so we've got a sky here, and I'm going to insert a character. Let's insert her, and she's pointing. So I'm going to have her here on the slide as well, and maybe we move her right over here, and she's pointing at that sky, and maybe she's asking the question. So really quickly, we're adding content to our slide. Down here in slide view, you'll notice we also have a timeline. A timeline gives me some added functionality. This is a huge feature. I have the opportunity now to decide when on the timeline will these items be present. Maybe I want her to not appear until 2 seconds in. Maybe the capital appears at about 1 second in here. And maybe I want them both to animate. So she is going to fly in slowly from the right, and the capital is going to fade in. So let's preview this and see what this looks like. There we go. So now I have the opportunity to really start to enhance the look, the feel, the function of my question from slide view. Now also on slide view, down here you'll notice the feedback layers. If we go back to form view, we had feedback layers here in terms of what it's going to say. So slide view, what does it look like? Incorrect, you did not select the correct response. You'll notice that that's the same thing over here. So I can come back and maybe I wanted to say, you are wrong. Well, if I come back to slide view, you'll see that it's been updated over here as well. So very quickly, I can start to give particular feedback. Maybe I want to change the look and the feel of the feedback. To do so, I could come to my feedback master and I could say, let's make this a little bit taller. Go back to my normal view and you'll see that it has been altered here. So I can very quickly start to work with the look and the feel of the slides and the questions themselves. So what else should we take a look at here? Well, I teased a free-form question. So let's take a look at what a free-form question is. This is new to Studio 13 or Quizmaker 13, and I think you're absolutely going to love it. Now, these new free-form questions in Quizmaker 13 are absolutely awesome because they allow you to create some great interactive opportunities. So let's take this drag and drop freeform, for example. I'm going to insert freeform. And one of the things that I can do here is I'm going to go ahead and add some pictures. Let's see, we'll add living room, media room, and let's add the basement. And we'll resize these down so they are all smaller. Bring these over here. These are still a little big. There we go. So they're all roughly the same size. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 shapes. I'll start one at a time here. Let's get this one formatted, get it looking how we want it to look, and give it some darker text. We'll call this one basement. We'll call this one living room. And we'll call this one media room. So I've got my 3 shapes, I've got my 3 objects. Let's say that I want to do a matching drag and drop. I want the learner to match these up. I want them to drag these pictures over to the corresponding area. Well, what I can do if I come over to my form view in this drag and drop and watch this area down here, this is really cool. I can choose the drag items. Watch how the items are highlighted in the lower right. So the basement, the living room, and the media room pictures are going to be the drag items. And now I assign them to the drop targets. So the basement is going to go to the basement. The living room is going to go to the living room, and the media room to the media room here. Now let's go and preview this. So simply by adding the pictures in and then assigning them as draggable items, I can now drag them about the screen. And these become my drop targets. So my media room, my living room, and the basement. So just that quickly, I have created a drag and drop activity. So I can still give feedback, number of attempts, and all of the other awesome opportunities here that I had. I can also come in and choose how these drag items are going to behave, how they'll be stacked, etc. But the cool thing is just that quickly, I get to create my own customized drag and drop using my objects, my shapes, etc. So those freeform tools in Quizmaker 13, super awesome new feature, give us a lot of cool opportunities to create some neat question types and neat learning opportunities for the folks that are taking our courses. Now, so we've created a question, we've used form view, we've used slide view, we've done a freeform question. Another cool feature, once we get our questions ready, is if we click on the Questions tab, we have the Results slide. So we want to give the learner their overall results on the quiz, and so this is what the base results slide looks like. But you'll notice it's in this slide view, so we have the opportunity to alter this view as well. So the look and the feel here, we can come in and we can alter the slide results. But we'll keep it simple for now and walk you through the results slide. You'll notice that we have some feedback layers, success and failure, so you can customize these individual layers as well to give the learner some customized feedback overall on the quiz. We have the option right over here on the right, and again, this is a great feature for those of you that have used Quizmaker before. Quizmaker 13 puts everything right at your fingertips. So do we want the learner to be able to print the results? Do we want them to retry the quiz, and how many times to retry the quiz? We can alter these buttons here as well. Maybe each one's a slightly different color to delineate them for the learner. So some opportunity here right on the results slide to customize the look, the feel, and to choose whether or not to show them their score, the passing score, whether they can review the quiz or not, so on and so forth. So from here, we've got our questions, we've got our results. Now perhaps the next step that we want to take is to go and take a look at the player itself. Quizmaker 13 really makes it easy to customize the player for your course. Now, one of the coolest new features here, if you've used Quizmaker before, is this live preview. So right over here, you can get a sense for, at any time, whenever you make a change, so let's add a seek bar, for how it's going to look, how it's going to feel, how it's going to function. So do you want the title up there, yes or no? My quiz, we can rename that. We can have the question list displayed or not displayed. We can choose to change right here. Maybe we don't want the questions themselves. Maybe we just want this to say question 1. In this here, we'll say question 2. And as you can see, real-time live updates over here on the right. Colors and effects. I can come in and I can change the color scheme. Maybe I want slate or silver here. Maybe I know my company's colors and I want to brand the player to those colors. Well, if I choose that advanced color editing option, I can come in and I can alter individual items of the player to match. So the base background color, for example, I go to more colors. Maybe I know the HTML or the RGB codes for my colors branding or my company's branding. I can select OK, and I can start to change the color scheme based on those. I can save those colors here in my custom colors, and now I can really get in and start to brand the player to my company's needs. So very quickly, I can come in, I can work with the functions and the properties here in the player and start to customize the look and the feel for my project. So that's a big picture overview of Quizmaker 13. Now, there's so much more to show you, and I'll be doing just that in the other Getting Started tutorials, so I'd like to encourage you to view them for more specific information. In the meantime, should you have any questions, please join us in the eLearning Heroes community. Stop on by the forums and ask your questions. We are here to support you and help you be successful using our tools. Take care.